Money was invented one day, and it never remained just a tool. The story we're told is always the same. There was barter. It was difficult. Then money appeared. Everything became easier, and civilization moved forward. It sounds logical. But this story is as comforting as it is incomplete, because money did not emerge to make life easier. It emerged to make a system manageable. Before money, most human societies did not live by barter. People were not constantly negotiating. Every exchange was not a calculation. In small communities, value was social. Who you were mattered. Who you lived with mattered. How you were known mattered. You gave because you belonged. You received because you were remembered. Debts were not written down, so they were remembered. This system worked as long as society stayed small. Then scale changed, populations grew, villages became cities, strangers arrived, and a problem appeared. Trust could not scale, memory weakened, obligations faded, violence increased, and rulers faced simple but dangerous questions. How do you feed an army that doesn't know you? How do you tax people you will never meet again? How do you extract value from a population spread across vast distances? This is where money entered the picture, not as a convenience, but as infrastructure. For value to move across distance, it needed a body, something durable, portable, divisible, something that could be trusted without memory. Food spoiled, animals wandered off, land could not move, labor disappeared the moment it was used. Metal solved the problem. Copper, bronze, silver. Not because they were shiny, but because they endured. But the people who turned metal into money were not merchants. They were rulers. Armies do not fight on promises. Soldiers do not march on goodwill. They require payment. And payment must be standardized, recognizable, and enforceable. When states began demanding taxes paid in metal, everything changed. People who once lived largely outside markets were pushed into them. Subsistence became obligation. Harvests became debt. To obtain metal, people had to sell their goods, their labor, and their time. Markets did not emerge naturally. They were pulled into existence by taxation and power. Money did not free people from rulers. It made rulers far more efficient. That is why early financial centers were not marketplaces. They were temples. They were palaces. Accounting came before coinage. Ledgers came before markets. The system was built from the top down, not from the bottom up. Then came another step. Metal was stamped. A coin sent a clear message. You do not need to trust the person giving this to you. You only need to trust the authority that stamped it. Faces, gods, emperors. These were not decorations, they were messages. Every transaction reinforced who ruled and which system you lived inside. Over time, rulers learned something else. If you control money, you control how much of it exists. You control its purity. You control its circulation. Metal was reduced, more coins were issued, consequences were delayed. Inflation was not discovered in modern times. It was invented the moment money became adjustable, prices rose, trust eroded. But the system endured, because once money existed, societies could not go back. The tool was too useful, too powerful, too deeply embedded in how value moved. Today there's no metal in our pockets, but the logic remains the same. Money is no longer backed by bronze, but by authority, obligation, and enforcement. Taxes are still paid. Debts are still collected. Armies are still funded. Money never evolved to be fair. It evolved to be scalable. And that does not make it evil. It makes it human. Because it was a way to manage large populations, large obligations, and large power imbalances. Money was invented one day, and it never remained just a tool. Systems changed. Empires collapsed. But the logic of money stayed. Because money was a way to control time, and those who controlled time did not need to be impatient. Patience became their weapon. We are still inside the same game today. Only the tokens have changed. What we do on this channel is not to break the game, it is to make the rules visible.